Hi, it's Gadget UK. As you can see, 12 GD-ROMs. So, this is the optical unit, the disk drive from Dreamcast. So it's thanks to Palmer that I became aware of the advert for these, and I thought to myself, that's a good opportunity. I have 12 GD-ROM drives. How many of them are going to be actually faulty, and how many just need a recap? So you can see inside the box here, yeah, it's pretty blooming full. So let's just take one of these out, and I'm going to inspect it. Does that look like 12? Oh yeah, there's a piece of cardboard underneath the next layer. We'll take two out actually, just have a look at two of them. But I do need to tear my Dreamcast down. Now there could be different models here. They may not all be the same. They may even need different models of the Dreamcast before you can actually connect them up. The actual interconnects here might vary. I mean, they look the same, don't they? Something loose in there. So that doesn't bode well. Is it just a screw? I don't know, something. Yeah, something is loose inside that. And they may have been attempted to be repaired, so I don't know, it's somebody's guess really. Anyway, I think we'll start with this one because it's got something clunking in it. Let's just put that down. So I've got the strap on here. I figured that I can get a few of these, and it was like 20 quid for 12 of them, which is, well, pretty cheap, isn't it? I figure if I can get a few of these working, then they're spares for my Dreamcast. And many people, including the seller of these, is clearly, or are clearly, people as a whole, swapping them out for emulators. Yeah, these screws are proving quite hard to get in. There's going to be something under here, isn't there? There's got to be another screw. Don't know, is it under there? I think there's another screw there. Yep. Wow, that almost tight. Yeah, just piercing through the foam there. I don't care. You could try and lift it, but I did that and it sort of tore. It's a bit like that stuff you get on the bottom of Neo Geo MVS motherboards. There's another screw. There's one under here. Yeah, this is the first time going inside this, so you know what? A few mistakes might be made. One or two of these may die. It's here. It'd be a miracle if I can get inside this without damaging it. There we go. So yeah, there was an extra screw there, so I'll need to straighten that a little bit. But the board's alright, we haven't damaged it. What I need to do now is carefully try and work out how best to disconnect the drive. God, that's a tight sort of situation. God, I wonder how those were done from factory. Maybe disconnect from the drive here, so all this faffing around with the drive connected was probably almost definitely not the best approach. I think what I need to do is, there's something, look, there's a button. There we go, that's what was wrong with that one. Someone wedged a button to it, some overly excited child. I think we need to just inspect with the magnifier actually, or microscope. Let me get the Cavanos cam down. So we can see straight away some of the suspects there. I mean, they haven't leaked, to be fair, I don't think. They look alright, don't they? In this case, I think it's the button. But there's no telling what damage that button has done. And there's no telling how much damage the Muppet that took it to pieces, e.g. me, has done, trying to get in here. You know, hang on, let's just try and get this at the right angle. I want to just have a look down there, hang on, at that. Yeah, it's not a, it's just a, push-pull one, isn't it? It's not got a removable HUD on it. So I think, somehow, I need to just get this at the right angle. Being careful, try not to damage the ribbon. It's right up there, it's like, how are you supposed to get to that? You can see it down this gap here, over the top. Try and grab it and just pull. Oh, it's pulling the whole thing. There we go, pulled it out. Just put that on the bench. let's just undo this wire here. That just lifts up over that. Can you see that? Same here. It just lifts up and you put it under the gap. If I can get it out, I've got some wires stuck still. That's it. And then that should allow us to sort of pull this whole thing here over the wire like that. Just carefully put that down, and then we can disconnect these two JSTs here. Best way to do this is to, you know, grip it on both sides and try and pull it out rather than pull it by the actual wires. The rock is the technique, left, right, that's it. I filmed that anyway, just for my benefit. So the ribbon there, that looks alright. Don't think there's any damage to that ribbon. PCB looks alright. Some of these drives may have a fault here, you know, BTL H-bridge driver. If the mechanism's not moving around and or the focus coils or something like that, it's going to be that. It's nice, isn't it? Sega chip there, can't see what that is. It's like got a Sega part number on it. So we'll have a look under that in a minute. Let's just move this out of the way now. I can pull the wires out entirely. We go down that little hole. They're in good condition, these. There's like barely a mark on them. Yeah, looking at the mech here, I don't see any damage to the gears or anything, I don't think. You know, that rotates really smoothly there. I don't feel any issues. Got a little switch at the end there when it's at the end of the carriage. Lens looks alright. Nothing missing from that. Sometimes on PlayStations you lose these bits, the ball bearings or whatever they are, the bits that, you know, they push out, in and out. It's like springs. You can see the 3 springs in the inside there, and then you get like a, you know, these points here. Let me try and show you. So they're going to fly out now. They just, yeah, they just clip like that. Sometimes those get lost on the PlayStation and then the disc won't stay in. I had to swap one of those previously, I think, on my channel. But everything's kind of looking alright there. I'm not seeing any damage whatsoever. Just this button was somewhere, you know, on the inside. In fact, it wasn't here, was it? It's somehow gone... I don't know how it got into this, because it got into the bottom part here. It must have gone through that little cavity there, and then maybe gone somewhere in the mechanism. So I guess a kid must have put it through here. That must be what happened. Why would you put a button in there? What were you thinking? Anyway, the main purpose was just to have a quick look inside this and identify the capacitors, so I can measure up the dimensions of all of these. And I'm going to use the EV blog ruler here. Yeah, it's not very clear on the millimetres. You've got to actually, you know, use magnification and count the little gold, not just to get the number of millimetres, but I want to get the number of millimetres diameter on each of these caps, writing them down, and obviously the capacitance and voltage. So like that one there is 116. We'll go on to cav cam a sec. 12 of these drives, I'll order up enough caps for, well, 12 of them. And we can check these. Let's check these on the SR meter now. 100 microfarad, 1.76, gave us 1 ding. So you know what? That looks alright, doesn't it? Let's just continue up here. Let's do these ones. It says in circuit leaky 3.4 ohms. Try that again. In circuit leaky 3 ohms. Let's try this one. So I mean the ESR reading there, the 3 ohms, could just be because it's in circuit, but from experience, hang on. From experience I found that, yeah, this one says open circuit, low capacitance. 21 ohms there. 21 ohms on that one there. I was going to say maybe it's over a coil or something like that. You know, there may be an inductor in parallel with it. I don't know. Let's just measure that again. No, it's measuring right now. 2.2 ohms. That's the thing. You can get false readings if you're not careful. Just be careful of that ribbon. I'm going to damage it. Let's try that one. I actually think the ones on this are alright, and it's all about that button. 2 ohms. So far, the ones I've checked around here, they're sort of coming around, you know, around sort of 2 to 3 ohms. Let's try these ones here. But again, they look good as new. They look good as new. These look like the caps on my Dreamcast. 2.6 ohms, 100 microfarad. Let's try that one. That one's really good. 220.8 ohms. Now, 220, it's not 220. It must be reading two of these in parallel. Now that doesn't look clever there, does it? Is that the first one I measured? No, it's not. 220 ohms. These two are measured in parallel, I think. This one's saying open circuit. No, it's not. 100 microfarad, 1 ohm. So, yeah, I'm calling it now with this one. It's not the caps. Oh, that one's bad. 5.3 ohms. Again, it could be something in parallel with it. Yeah, 5 ohms. That one's coming out. TC9450AF. Let's just have a look at those ones on that side. So there's one with the Sega part number 313-5640, made in Japan. Just looking at the part number. I think that's a Chiba made part, actually, looking at the font. Could be wrong. What's this? An XU917A0 from Yamaha. I think that's just going to be like a standard CD chipset, you know, that you got on a CD player. 25 megahertz crystal, presumably there. YDC, that's going to be a DAC, I reckon. Maybe a Yamaha part number. So, yeah, it's like a Yamaha CD-ROM drive, but it's got this custom thing here. And I think there's very little difference between a CD-ROM and a GD-ROM. It's all about, it just has can provide slightly more data. Is it like 1 gigabyte or something versus 680 meg? Yeah, and just having a quick look at that ribbon. Kind of looks alright, doesn't it? We've got a little kink there, you can see that. But that is all it is, it's just a little kink. There's a few of those along here. As you look at it in the light, sorry, flicking upwards. And as we look down here, again a kink at the top. But that looks alright to me. And if we have a look at the interconnect there, again that looks alright. You'd obviously need to check, you know, for dry solder joints things, but, well, there'd be no reason to get one there unless it was bad from factory. You know, perhaps not getting enough solder on it, and, yeah, generally have a look around the board. The 0 ohm links through is something to check. You know, they can act as a fuse, sometimes they go open circuit, same with ferrite beads. But just a visual inspection around there, looking for any signs of anything being damaged. I have to keep looking up, actually, to see what's on the board. That's it, for up there, down here. It's looking okay. A bit wonky, aren't they, these caps, in terms of how they are aligned on the board. There's not very much on these, really. That's looking a funny colour there, what's that? That resistor. See the weird shape to it? As like as you rotate it, it's got like a funny surface. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, there's like a weird thing here on that. Could just be the shape of it. Well, it is the shape of it, but I mean, it could be a natural thing. The point I'm trying to make. Yeah, those look really dull then, didn't they? It's like all about the light. You know, you get reflections from the board and from elsewhere in the room. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, we can have a look at the laser here. So one thing I would say is that kind of looks a bit opaque-y. Like, maybe it's like dirty. Let's just try and raise it up and then focus again. It's funny we're focusing on something that's designed to focus. Is it watching us while we're watching it? Can you see that? Can you see a cloudiness on the inside? Yeah, let's just see if I can get the pointy tool nearby. Yeah, hopefully you can see what I'm seeing here. It looks a bit cloudy, look. Can you see? Certainly around the edges, around there. It just could be an optical illusion there. Yeah, so I mean that's a candidate for soaking it in some IPA. I've fixed a number of lasers that way. I think my PlayStation 3, one of them, or PlayStation 2, I ended up doing that with. Yeah, look at that. It's probably not surface dirt. Let's just try cleaning it. It's probably internal. Because you've got, you know, believe it or not, an optical path in some of these inside it. So in other words, it's not just some glass with the laser diode straight behind it. Sometimes there are a couple of mirrors. You know, the beam sort of comes in. It comes in down here, hits a mirror on the back and bounces out, bounces down, and then somewhere on the underside comes out to, well, it probably does, comes out to here, yeah? Or this is where the actual laser, you know, fires from, if you like. So look how deep that is. It goes ding, ding, ding inside. So we could be seeing something contaminating one of the mirrors on the inside. But it could just be a surface. I don't know, that's come up a lot cleaner, look. Yeah, just gently cleaning that and gently dry it. Very interesting. I mean, there could be another thing with these. All these might be dead because if this might be actual failure mode to them. Maybe there's some glue or epoxy they stick on the inside, and you can sort of see something like that on the outside here. You see this? Maybe this breaks down and somehow contaminates the inside there. Maybe they are all dead. I don't know, but anyway, that's a candidate. If this doesn't work, it's a candidate to soak. I would take that optical unit out, soak it in a cap of IPA, this whole thing here, for maybe a week, and then dry it off with some hot air and see if it looks any better. I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen replacements for these spring up in China, you know, like an AliExpress, because, well, I can't believe that there's much difference between something like that and some other audio CD units and stuff. Were they really that difference in specification? They might have had a different frequency for the actual laser in order to get that extra data on the disc, and that might be the issue. It might be a case of, well, they're so unique that only the one company was manufacturing these at the time when these were made. I don't know. So therefore, the third-party ones, there aren't any similar, if you see what I'm saying. Because I don't think there were any of the products that were similar to the Dreamcast, you know, the format here, the GD-ROM. But I guess that's going to be the only thing. You could probably get some really high quality laser diode that would do the same thing from you know, any other CD manufacturer, I suspect. But I could be wrong. You know, perhaps I don't fully understand what difference. You know, it might be the spectrum, you know, the frequency that laser is on. Yeah, just looking under there, you can see the anti-static solder blob. That would be soldered from factory, and then once you've fitted it, you remove that as the last step. It just probably, you know, connects the laser power to ground or something here, something like that, in order that if you were to touch something here with you know, get static into it, it just goes straight to ground. It's nicely assembled though, isn't it? Everything about the Dreamcast oozes quality, really, for the time period it was assembled. Other stuff from that generation didn't look as good as this. Yeah, it's an optical illusion. There was a crack there isn't. And it wouldn't matter anyway, it's probably just decoupling or something. Anyway, that's one. So, yeah, I'm reluctant to just reassemble this one just yet. I think I'll keep it in its constituent pieces here. And I'll straighten up that thing there if I can. I've made a right mess of that, haven't I? Let's see if we can get that screw out. Yeah, let's push it through the foam there we go. So all four of those screws are the same size. Yeah, I mean, piercing through there is probably the best thing to do, rather than rip that all up. I just need to try and straighten that out. Just try and roll over that a little bit, like that. Again, I've slightly overcompensated there. I suspect that when we get the screw back in there now, it's going to be okay. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It is a bit creased there. Let's just try and slide that. It's really thin, that, as well. You don't need to press it very much and it moves a fair bit. Yeah, that's just going to get pressed back into place as you turn this screw. You know, as this tightens to the top part there, it's going to pull that flat. So if there was a slight imperfection there, just like there is, that's going to straighten out, okay? And you're never going to see it anyway, it's under there, so you know what, that's alright. So I'm going to put these out of the way. I'll put that in its own ESD bag, I think. And we'll have a look at the other unit to see if there's any leakage in that. I'd be amazed if I find a button in that one as well. That looks creased to me there, so this one's got a bad ribbon, hasn't it? Can you see down there? That looks well creased. Yeah, that is seriously creased, so we might not be able to get every one of these working, but we can certainly swap parts out between them as well. That's the other thing here. So like that other one, we might be able to swap the ribbon. So yeah, what we learned about that one was undo the screws you can see here, I think, first. It was thanks to Palmer that I became aware of this, if I've not already mentioned that. And I did say if I could fix these, he can have, if I can fix all 12, he can have 6. So basically I'll give him whatever, half of whatever I can fix, just to say thank you, because they were not very expensive. And he did say, can I grab one if you can fix them? And that's why I offered, no worries, I'll give you half of them. Yes, there was a screw here, wasn't there? Let's just see if we can feel around. Yeah, use your fingers. Your fingers is one of the best tools. So, I'm trying to remember now. So we disconnected it from the optical unit first, didn't we? Now this one, hang on, it's not coming out, is it? Yes, it is. Wow, that's well mangled in there. So let's try and there's two ways of doing this, I think. Probably moving the carriage, see if we can push it. No. What we can probably do though is try and rotate it. Hang on. If we can get to the bar. So, yeah, finger on the bar here. It's just up there. You can slide it that way, which gives you, I was going to say gives you more space. It's made it worse now because it's too far that way. Slide it back up this way a bit. Try and reach under and pull that ribbon straight back. It's greasy under there as well. I've got grease all over my fingers. I mean, the fact that that ribbon is so creased there and that's all greased up makes me think someone's been in this trying to fix it. And they put an absolute ton of grease into here. That is so greasy. I've never seen so much grease on it. Look at this here as well. It's all over the place. Tons of it on there. Yeah, so why when we rotated this, let's try the gears. That is working. I think it's just got so much grease on it, I couldn't get a grip on that bar to rotate it. And it might be hard, to be fair, because of the gear in here, to just rotate the bar with your fingers. So anyway, maybe that's alright, but that ribbon doesn't look alright, does it? And then, I'm trying to think now, we've got the screws out, we can just do the same thing really. Unhook, lift and unhook. Being careful not to break that off. Lift and unhook. So let's have a look at this. So we've got a thermal pad there. That other one didn't have that. That's interesting. Unless it was already stuck onto the thing above. I don't know. So having an inspection around that. It looks alright. Maybe that ribbon's alright as well. I'll show it you in a minute. It's just got a little crease or two in it. I mean, that won't have helped with the movement of the motor, the sled up and down, because we do have a crease in it. We can take that out there and measure across it, and you could probably replace that. You just got to get the right number of connections and the pitch. I bet that wouldn't be too hard to replace. Mind you, it's about the length. You've got to get exactly the right length. That can be the complication. So, caps again, looking okay, I want to say. I mean, they look like new. You tend to find this on most the Sega stuff from this era. It tends to look, really, really good. So, my confidence is going down already. I've only looked at two of these and not really seen anything that would make me overly suspicious of caps. But maybe it is just about dirty lasers. I don't know, so we'll have a look at that one under the microscope as well. But there's a heck of a lot of grease on this one. I'm getting greasy just touching the plastic here. Yeah, this laser lens doesn't look like the last one. It doesn't have that sort of cloudiness to the edges. Let me bring the camera down. Yeah, so having a peek on Kavanagh's camera. Oh no, there is, look, there's a mysterious speckly thing going on. And the question is that on the inside? Is that on the outside? And is it on the lens, or is it somewhere in the optical path? Maybe that's just dust. Thing is though, something like that can look really, really clean when you clean the top of it, and then when it dries, suddenly you see all the points come back. It can be an optical illusion of the liquid on it diffusing the light, and then when it dries, yeah, there's a few little marks on that. You can see that just from cleaning with the IPA. It's not, you know, it's still got some streaks. It really is one of those things where you probably need to go over it a couple of times, and I'm being really gentle here because you can see it wobbles around, and it's because it's on coils, and those coils could be bad on these, some of these. You know, it moves in different orientations. It moves up and down, it moves left and right. It's not too bad. There is the odd little streak on it. And I would say in general that one looks a lot better than the last one did. Yeah, it shows some of that grease on the underside. Look at that there. Look at the size of that blob. There's tons of grease there. It's oozing out. And then on the other side here with the motors, look at that. Oh, look how much grease someone's put in there. That's got to be a third party. There's no way it came out from factory, I'm sure. I could be wrong. We might find they're all like that. But that first one certainly wasn't. And of course, you know, just rotating these like this, again, and it felt like it stuck a bit there then. No, it didn't. I think it was just the grease getting some viscosity back. Inspecting the teeth, you know, to make sure you don't see any cracks or anything wedged between them. So again, like that first one, we'll ESR test this. It's going to need a new battery this in a minute. I've noticed after using it for a few minutes I get the battery symbol on it now. So, and we'll check that ribbon. We'll do that in this video. And then we'll come back in the next part and test these first two on the Dreamcast and start to work our way through some of the others. Hang on, trying to get onto that. It is not easy. Yeah, you see, the 5 ohms there, that's just 4.9. That's what we saw on the other one in this cap in this position. I actually think that's a red herring. I don't think that's 5 ohms at all. I actually think it's just because it's across a chip and we're measuring some resistance of it being in circuit. 0.6, that's the same as the other one. It was like less than an ohm, that one. And this one came out here 220. There we go, 225, 1.2 ohm. That one's the same because that's in parallel. 220. It's showing 2.6 ohms, but I don't think I measured that one for long enough before. Let's try again. 1.5 ohms. Yeah, that one might be in parallel with this one. They could all be in parallel, those three, actually. Yeah, battery symbols just come on. 4 ohms. Yeah, so we are getting a bit of variance there. I mean, that would suggest that one's not good. In fact, is that electrolyte? It's looking a bit shiny down there next to that. No, it's not. It's just an optical illusion again. But the solder points on these, again, just look brand new. Look like it's just come from the factory. If I wiped the fingerprints off this and then gave this to you and said this is a brand new board from Sega, you'd go, oh my god, Sega have made a new board. You'd believe me. Well, you would if Sega was still around in their old form. Not going to waste any more time. I will measure up these though and order a load of caps, but I'm not going to order as many for 12 drives, I don't think. I think I'll just order I'll just order like packs of, I don't know, 20 of each or something then. We should have enough spares maybe. I mean, I'll just give you an overview now of what you got. 100 microfarad 6.3, 100 6.3, 100 16 volt, 100 6.3, 100 16 volt, 100 6.3, 47 6.3, 47 6.3, 100 6.3, 47 6.3. So you've just got a load of 100s, and you can fit 16 volt ones. You don't necessarily need to go down to the 6.3 that all of, you know, that some of them are. And you've got 47s at 6.3. 1, 2, 3. Right, let's take this out. So it's the metal contacts up with the torn end this side. Just I'll try and reassemble it the same. I might do it the other way around actually. Have the, you know, the squished end down here. So this one again is just a pull out thing by the looks of it. Let's just check that. Doesn't look like it lifts. No, it doesn't. They're just the cheapest ones where you just like push it in. You've got to push it in nice and straight and flat. So with a bit of gentle manipulation you can pull it out. And connections are on the same side here, so that makes it really easy to test that, doesn't it? You just have to rest assured that I'll be probing one end when I show you me probing this end. I'm going to be taping this down. I think I've seen Vince do that before now when he's testing things like this. Because if I was to tape it down, well, it just makes it a bit easier. If I tell you what, let's just hold on there and test over here. Hang on. So that one's alright. That one's alright. Of course, it's one thing measuring it flat and a whole other thing measuring it when it's in use, or an angle, because you get a flex, you know, like that there. Now you may find it's broke and it was alright a minute ago, but you know what, that doesn't look too bad, does it? If you look at it, it's just a wee little crease, and again there, it's just a wee little crease, again a crease. Something like that, what you can do on a soft mat like this is get it nice and flat like that, yeah, and just roll towards it like that, and you uncrease the creases. Certainly on a rubbery mat like this, rolling is your friend. There you go. Creases, what creases? It's got one or two in the middle there still, just on the outer edge. Yeah, those creases have mostly gone, but I mean it's very creased on this side here, look. It's interesting, on that side it looks alright, and on that side there, look how creased that is. I think I'd like to test that again before I would commit to using it. I suspect that it's the plastic, you know, the plastic has kind of got a twist in it more than the actual connection. Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about that though. I do think it's quite minor. This one here is a bit more noticeable, but again, we tested it and it seems alright. That edge one, yeah, that looks pretty balked, doesn't it? So putting that back on now, I'm going to put the creased end nearer to this, because then it's going to have a different folding pattern, isn't it, I think. Yeah, so I don't know, it might just take a bit of stress off where it got balked previously. Trying to get it back in, yeah, it's not going to be easy to be honest. These are better when they go straight down, because when they go straight down you can, you know, put your fingers like that, push it nice and flat. Doing it this way now, well, you need something nice and long and thin, and I don't think there's enough clearance. Look, the tool's going to get stuck on the PCB, so it could be very hard trying to get that back in. But I do wonder how they got these things in. So sometimes you can get a flat edge like that there, hang on, can you see it's creased at that point? And if you push straight enough, you might get it to go in. You've obviously got to get perfectly aligned first. There we go, like that. But then you make a little crease. So, yeah, anyway, that'll do. And it's obviously metal contacts up. So we did just flip the orientation of that. It's pointing, you know, the other way around. This side was in there before. It doesn't matter though, because it's exactly the same. It's got the same thickness, same alignment from the edges, you know, the same spacing from this edge here and that edge, so that doesn't really matter. I'm just going to get that one back together, actually. I'm going to put this one back together in entirety, and then start the next video when we tear my Dreamcast to bits. We'll start by testing this one, I think. It's interesting how it's got that thing there to heatsink the BTL drive, but we haven't got anything of those. And it's interesting how the other one didn't have that. It could have just been a revision over time difference. Hang on, I've done this wrong. You've got to get those through the holes in the plastic first, haven't you? It's a chicken and egg thing. If you don't do that, then, well, you've got nowhere to feed these through. They go through a hole in the top bit. And I believe they went through that channel there, didn't they? So if we sort of feed them through like that, put this thing up like that maybe, then get them back in. Oh God. I always wonder how these things were done at the factory. Like to make it easy. Like, or did a person assemble this like this? I don't think so. I bet they were done by machine. That's it. And then this is going to go over there. That's going to go out there. Like that kind of thing. Ribbon comes up this way. Right, so what I ended up doing is move the carriage all the way down here. Then there was enough space to try and line it up and just get it in the edge. And then I've used the pliers on the very edge of the thing here, trying not to touch the metal part and just pushing it in. It's gone in here. And I did the same that side, then that side. I need to do one more push on this side over here now. Now there's a lot less space on this side, so it's a bit difficult. I'm going to try and sort of squeeze down here on the edge and then just push and try and be flat. I think that's it. I think that's in. Let's carefully go back over there. I've got grease all over my hands again. Oh, God. There must be grease everywhere on the outside of this now, because, well, there is, look, it's here. Chicken and egg with this. It's like, what's it stuck on there now? What's it? Lift that up. Push that under. That's it. Push that under. Just try and wipe that. Just for good measure, I'm just going to wipe around this because you know what, it just feels a bit greasy. Just because if there is any grease on top there, I don't want it getting onto the laser. And you can argue clean this thing as well. Just it's like a rubber ring. Just give it a little wheel around like that. There's nothing coming off it. So, well, we didn't really do anything, did we? We just took it to pieces and put it back together. Maybe these are all bad. I don't know. Maybe someone's gone through like hundreds of Dreamcasts and these are the 12 units they've got that don't work. I'm getting intermittent resets with this, and namely when it's cold, but sometimes when it warms up for 5 or 10 minutes, so it can be alright for the first 5 or 10 minutes and then it'll reset. And yeah, it's been driving me nuts. Now, important point to know is if you hear the drive seeking and reseeking, seeking and reseeking, obviously it's a read error, but then you would expect a read error rather than it just resetting. But that's something to consider. Make sure you're not getting a problem with the optical drive. But as I mentioned when I think I did the previous Dreamcast video, it's about this interconnect here. This is what normally causes it. Yeah, oxidization. So what we'll do is just unscrew the 2 screws that hold the power supply in. Yeah, once you've got the 2 screws out, obviously make sure the mains isn't in. It's probably an idea to try and switch it off and on at this point. Disconnect the connector there. The PCB then should lift up and out. You need to pull it over at that point there. Yeah, so it's about this here, actually. That's where you get the problem. And just use a fiberglass pen here. You could use some really lightly abrasive sandpaper if you've not got a fiberglass pencil. But yeah, just clean up and down the contacts here on the sides, the back and the front. You could also get some contact cleaner on there. So yeah, I'm going to try and come up the back. So you could get some contact cleaner in there, some deoxit or something. Can you see it moves with it? So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. So just position the board back over the top of here, like that. In my case I need to make sure my cable's not getting trapped here, and just slide it down like that. So it's been working now for a number of days. prior to cleaning up the contacts there on the power supply, it was having issues loading, random resets and stuff. It's still a bit sulky on CDR, but it always has been this. You know, sometimes it takes a minute or two to warm up before it reads really well with CDRs. You know, burn discs. But any of my original discs works perfectly. Anyway, we'll have another look at the drive in my Dreamcast in an upcoming video. But we'll also continue on the the 12 GD-ROM drives in the next part as well. The next thing in this video is I'm also going to have a look at the battery, because, well, it needs a new battery, I think. So let's have a quick go of this. But I've been playing Code Veronica for hours and hours and hours. I've got quite far into Code Veronica. I'm really enjoying it. It's been one of my favourite Resident Evil experiences, if I'm honest. So this is a shmup, Sturmwind I think it is, from a German developer. I think it was Jurnik. They produced 1 or 2 games on the Atari Lynx as well. Yeah, Jurnik. Really cool. I think the last video I did on the Dreamcast actually showed you Fast Striker at the end of it from the NG dev team. That's a really good game. It's well worth getting on Dreamcast. The Dreamcast is just such a cool system. I love everything about it. It's so cute as well, the design of it. And you've got to love that Windows CE logo on the front of it, even though there isn't, to my knowledge, any Windows CE things for it. It's bizarre. I think it was a license deal with Microsoft prior to the Xbox coming out, and then maybe at the last minute they decided to not go with it or something, I don't know. Yeah, so very similar in many respects to Fast Striker, that you've got your pre-rendered, art in the background there. There is some parallax though, because I can see that moving up and down as I'm moving around. Maybe it's 3D. It's, hang on, why am I flying backwards? I don't know why. Oh yeah, you've got to hold fire down, that's it. This is a Jamie Morgan game, without a doubt. It's one of these things where I'm sure Jamie would be able to get right to the end of it in 1 credit or something. One of the troubles I have with games like this is that there's that much moving stuff. Sometimes it's quite hard to work out what you can collide with, what you can't. Like that piece of scenery there, can I collide with that or not? Let's experiment, let's try flying into it. Now we can go over it. It's quite cool. Nice music. Yeah, very Fast Striker. Or Fast Striker is very much Sturmwind. I'm not sure which. Of course, the difference here is in the direction we're travelling. We're not going up the screen, we're going to the right. I have to admit, the bullets are quite hard to see in places. There's tiny little red rings. What else it reminds me of Fast Striker is the female voiceovers there with a German sort of accent speaking English. It's very much like Last Hope and Fast Striker. Well, I don't think Fast Striker has that though, does it? It's just got some kick-ass music, Fast Striker. I'm not really sure what I'm shooting here. There's that much yellow from the sun. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm knackered here now. Hang on. You do have a shield though. You can take so many impacts by the looks of things. It's quite a nice effect, isn't it? Just see if we can get to a boss. That is so Fast Striker. I mean, I guess both games were copying from other games like cave games, maybe. Even reminds me of Razion, to be honest. They're all much of muchness. Oh, they're a bit close, those bullets. I'm focused that much on the bullets here, I'm not really sure what the weak spots are that I'm aiming for. Oh, I see. The actual parts of the car. No. Do we have any specials? No, I've got a different type of attack there. Is that one not dead yet? One down. Oh, and then I blew up. At least to continue from that point. Hang on a minute, still bullets coming from the top there. Is that a bit of it left still? Hang on. Or did I shoot from the middle bit? No, I don't. Shoot the arms. Oh. Now I shoot the middle bit. Ah. So cool. Another cool thing about the Dreamcast that I forgot about, you got the VMU here. You get cool things shown up on the display. If I try and start this, yeah, you get various bits of information. On Resident Evil it shows you your health and all sorts of things like that, your ammo. I think on Dino Crisis you can see it's just loading. How cool. And then a minute ago it showed Sturmwind there. There you go, Sturmwind, the logo. It's really cool. I swapped the battery on this 9 years ago. It was the first thing on my channel, I think. And if I just power this up now, it's been on just a few hours ago, for a few hours, and you'll see the battery is totally flat. It has lost the time of day. So yeah, it's getting irritating because every single time I switch it on, despite having used it for 3 or 4 hours at a time, I've been playing Code Veronica, actually working my way through it, it's always lost the settings. So we'll switch it off, disconnect everything, just get the 4 screws out of the underside. And if you saw the previous video on this, you'll know that I've got a VGA socket on the back, so I just need to be careful when I remove the lid. Good God, that was pretty fun. There's just 4 screws, 1 on each corner. And I think back when I did this, I just opted to solder the battery straight on. What I'm going to do in this video is just fit a holder. I've had that holder for ages actually, with the intention, the intention of fitting it in here. I've got a couple of them. Yeah, so you can see here the VGA cables at the back, so I just need to just carefully flip that like that. Make sure I don't break the wires there. In order to get the controller PCB out, it's worth removing the power splice. Anyway, this is par for the course really with things like this. You can fix these things and then, you know, several years later you'll be revisiting again probably. So let's just pull the power supply up and out like that. And then we've got 4 screws here that just hold this PCB in. I also changed that LED when I was in here last, but you can see the battery, it's just sort of soldered on there. I probably would have cut the original tabs and soldered onto that battery maybe just to extend them. I've just got recollections of having done that. And if you missed the original video 9 years ago, you'll know that if that fan stops working, the Dreamcast will shut down very quickly after powering. Well, it did for me. Well, we've got a ribbon here, look, so let's just carefully just try and pull this ribbon out, I think, like that. Disconnect that fan. And then this PCB, unless I've missed a screw, should, I'll tell you what, let's just see if we can, let me try and get that screw out, because that screw is probably not helping things. And it should come out. I think I've got recollections of this thing having to come out with it. Is there another screw there that I can't see? No, there isn't. There we go. It's out now. Look. So yeah, we just need to desolder the contacts here on this. Make sure we get the polarity around the right way and fit our holder. It's got 3 pins there, so it looks like the holder can just go straight in the middle there. So that's going to be nice and easy, isn't it? So if we just measure the polarity here, I just want to just check which way around the positive and negative are here. And you can't even tell that battery's so flat. You can see 0.28 of a volt, Bear in mind it's only just been on a minute ago. So yeah, the battery definitely needs swapping. You can tell because you get a positive around that way. Yeah, watch it flip around the other way, you'll see the negative symbol. That means I've got the polarity around the wrong way because I'm measuring a negative voltage here, which means this single point is the ground. So let's just desolder that, and it's going to be the same with this. Look here, the negative point is there. Yeah, so that's going to be really super easy to fit. We could probably do with the clean up this PCB actually. There's the fuse, by the way, and the fuse can go on these for the controller. You know, your controller stopped working, the fuse is the cause 9 times out of 10. So let's just heat and desolder these 3 points. Right, you can see that's sort of hanging out there like that, so that's out. Holes are unblocked. Is that gonna go in? Yeah, there we go. Wow, that was so easy. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. I mean, the nice thing with this is we're like a minute in and I'm nearly done. It is incredible how easy these simple fixes are to do on a Dreamcast. Yeah, that's pretty straight. I'm hoping there's going to be enough space in there, clearance-wise, for the battery to stand up. I mean, it was sort of upright before, wasn't it? But it was at an angle slightly. So, yeah, we'll soon find out. So a cotton bud with some IPA here, and we'll just clean the contacts here, and the wider area perhaps as well. Yeah, some corrosion there, can you see that? Well, not really corrosion, but flux or something. To be fair, I probably never cleaned the whole PCB when I came in here last. So, yeah, that LED leg there perhaps needs trimming down a little bit. Anyway, that's pretty clean, I think. So the final thing here now is a battery. So somewhere here I have some batteries. Yeah, these are the ones actually. One of these is a Maxell one, I think. Yeah, the funny thing with these batteries, someone put them in an ESD bag, and actually the bag is conductive, just a little bit. So he's made them all go flat, even though they're rechargeables. But here, I got these recently. This one's Maxell ML2032. So again, it's the same thing. It's lithium-ion rechargeable. Just take that out. I'm just going to measure it. I'd be surprised if it's completely flat, but you never know. When these things haven't been topped up recently, they can lose a lot of the charge, if not most of it. Oh, there you go, 2.5 volts, that one's going to be good. So there you go, and that definitely shows that the other one is balked. The positive is up here. Now I'm going to be OCD here and polish the battery. I really hate it when I see a battery in a battery holder and there's a thumbprint on it. It's a strange thing, but anyway, that's it makes me feel happier. So yeah, positive is facing us, so it's positive this way. It's just going to go like that. There we go, that's it, job done. So we can just flip it over, bring the meter into shot. We're on volts DC, let's just measure the contacts here. Yeah, 2.3 volts. 2.4 volts, there we go, so that's alright. Just had a bad contact with the leads, I think, so let's just do that in reverse and put this back in. We'll connect the ribbon up now. Try and go straight down. That's it. And then the long screws here hold the ports in. Do make sure they're aligned with the front here. You know, the board is nice and in position. And then if I remember rightly, this was kind of tucked in here, just down the edge. It's not going to interfere with the drive. The power supply, so make sure that plastic piece is there. And start with the back section there. Slide it on here. Oh, this is where these wires now may be a problem because they are in the way. Now what I need to do is move this one to that gap there, and then this one out of the way of the underneath of the power supply. That's it. And then reroute that again. Now in my particular one here, when I put the back screw in, I need to make sure I don't over tighten it because this suffered an impact on the PCB. Do push this down here, make sure it's on properly. that screw there. You do need to make sure the mains wire is not trapped when you put this screw in. That'll do. Pull the mains over there. I think that should be it. So we should be able to get the lid back on now. And this is where I need to make sure I don't trap my wires. So I take it back to base. Don't be a muppet like me and forget to connect the fan. You'll know if you've not done it because it'll be silent when you switch it on. Let's just get that back in. There we go. Right, take two. I did have to move this wire away from the LED as well because there's a plastic thing that goes on top of that, you know, a clear light tunnel. Anyway, I'm going to put back and I've got the 4 screws back in again. Right, we're all back together and now we have a fan. So at the time date it's 22:22 on the 25th. And I guess the key is when we switch it off and on here. Let's just switch it off. Hopefully there's enough voltage there, that 2.5 volts. And as we use this it should charge up a little more. Might just whip the lid off later and just measure it after a few days to show you that it's charged up. Yay! Didn't ask me for the time of day, that's great. So here we are 3 or 4 days later, showing you something I didn't know existed on this. It's got a screensaver built in. I just left this charging for a while. Yeah, I've been using this 3 or 4 days, no issues at all. You'll see the time date is correct if I just move the thing there. Yeah, so that's composite. It's really blooming fuzzy on composite. It really is on this TV. But yeah, that's the correct time of date there. So yeah, problem solved. And finishing off here with one of my favourite games, Xeno Crisis. Yeah, I bought the ISO of this. It's one of the options. You can either buy, you know, an original press disc with all the artwork and the box and everything, or you can buy the ISO and burn your own disc. So I did that with this one. So cool. Never gets old, this game. It works really well with the control scheme here as well, using the directional buttons. You know, I can press the B down to the right. Yeah, down, up, left, right. It works really well, and obviously you've got the shoulder buttons. Yeah, this is the best control scheme for this game. So if you haven't got this game and you want to get it on the Dreamcast. Go over to their website. There'll be a link down below. Yeah, consider buying this on the Dreamcast. And it's easy to get diagonals as well. Wonder why it wasn't firing then. I've got the BFG, you've got to charge the thing up. Oh. I actually find it hard using the BFG. It's that whole time delay charging the thing up. Oh, that was a bit mean spawning underneath me. No doubt it's going to hand my something beginning with A to me. Oh, it's so much easier playing it with this controller, he says as he dies. I'm about to die, I think. Oh. Yeah, there's me saying it's easy, I jinxed it. Yeah, it's only a short first instalment here. There's quite a lot of footage, as you imagine, with 12 GD-ROM drives. How many will we get working? How many are going to have irreparable faults? Post in the comments down below. Post some ideas and things. I mean, I've worked through all of these, so I know exactly how many work and how many don't at the end of this. But the interesting thing is, don't be put off, just because look at the Dreamcast here. The issues related to these units, you'll see, you know, can have a relationship, well, do have a relationship, a direct relationship to other CD-ROM units and other systems, you know, things like the CD32, the Philips CDI, the PlayStation, the Saturn, etc., maybe even the Mega CD. So some of the things that we fix, some of the fixes that I work out, some of the issues we encounter, many of the issues we encounter, you'll cover in all those other systems as well. So there's quite a lot to learn. I've learned so much on this series, and I've spent about 2 weeks working on this, believe it or not. Yeah, so, and there's lots of other things coming up as well. I won't be putting another Dreamcast video straight after this. In my upload pattern, you may have noticed I've been mixing up the content. So like the next one after this, it might be a Spectrum, I think, and then back to some Amiga stuff. We've got loads and loads and loads of stuff coming up. So please don't be put off by this delay. The delay on me getting this video up is because I've got gutter problems, I've got a shower problem, I've got a leaking roof in my car, my wife's broke her phone again. I haven't even uploaded the next in the phone repair series that you'll see where I fixed another 1 or 2 phones, and she's broke another one. It's like, oh my god, the costs and everything. And the other thing is, I'll point out here as well, I've had so much stress because the roof, yeah, I had a guy coming to do the roof, and it's an end cap. I need an end cap fitting on, and because the end cap's not there, it's going onto the roof of my car. My car's getting absolutely saturated with the torrential rain we've been having, and water's getting inside it. So the bottom line is those two issues are related. Yeah, the end cap, I've got a new end cap. The guy came to do it as part of cleaning the gutters and went, I can't fit that. You've got the old style at the top, the old fitting. And I said, look, it's exactly the same. Got the side by side. It's exactly the same as the other one. Oh, you don't understand what I'm saying, mate. It's the outlet. It's a different fitting. And he was basically trying to fluff it. He was trying to sell me like $2,000 or more of new gutters, when I know it's just the same as the end cap I took off. And how do I know that? He then tried to fit it. So I'll try and fit it. I'll stick a bit of silicone. And he had it fitted, and I watched him while he's doing it. He didn't know it was the bottom, and I'm watching up the ladder, and he's fitted it on. It's all done, yeah. And then he whacked it off, and it flew off, landed on the top of my car, bounced off the roof, bounced onto the bonnet. I was absolutely seething. I said, please do not knock it off again. And he said, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. I don't want to damage your car. Is your car all right? And I spent 20 minutes looking around my car. I couldn't see anything, but there is a tiny little chip of paint come off it. The bottom line is, he did that all maliciously. He knocked it off. It was already up. And when he knocked it off, the piece that was on there is the piece that he said he couldn't fit it onto. And it fits perfectly. It's on. It was on. He had it on. Yeah. So anyway, I had to get another plumber out, another £75, but not a plumber, another drain person, another roof person. It's the same with the shower. And I'm not trying to get more subscriptions. I'm not trying to get more Patreon support. But you know what? If you can support me for £1 a month or something, or $1 a month, there's tons of early access, and I am catching up with videos. There's going to be a lot more videos like this coming up soon. Anyway, my real life things have got nothing to do with my channel. Trust me, they've been delaying things is the whole point. I have been working 24/7 more than ever, trying to fix my shower and my roof and my car and God knows what else. Anyway, I do hope you found the video interesting. I'll catch you in the next video.